Hello, this is Sonja from My Happy Space. Welcome back at my channel. Today we're going to talk about how I use and how you can use some doilies in your junk journaling. So if you followed me for any length of time, you know doilies is my signature go-to. That is what I love. This is, I think, what sometimes some people know about me is I love doilies. I love to use doilies in different ways in my Bible journaling, in scrapbooking and junk journaling. I think it's so versatile. To me, doilies just does the trick. In doubt, always I put a doily down. So that's how I feel about doilies. So I've made a list of 15 things how you can use doilies, or how I sometimes use doilies. Some of them I haven't used. I've done a research. I looked at a few videos. I went onto Pinterest and I got some ideas. Some of them are like sort of well known to all of us, but sometimes just good to be reminded. What I will do is I'll keep this here. So if you want to take a screenshot, you're welcome to do that. And I will also bookmark down below. So if you want to go back to just to be prompted about what you can do with doilies. So before we go into this list, this is my bucket of doilies. Now I've got my own printables which I design. I've got every color doilies there are. And the size, you can always make it bigger and so. And then obviously I just have normal doilies in my stash. I've got even crochet doilies, heart doilies, white doilies, all the doilies, yeah, colors. And I've got some vintage doilies which I've recently released in my Etsy shop, which you might have missed because I didn't really advertise it very well because I was busy with Junk Journal July and things like that. So this is vintage doily, which I think it's a little bit bigger and I think it's perfect to put in a junk journal. Love this one. That is probably one of my favorites, these. And that's also, I love this also. This is to me really oldie worldy. So this is in my Etsy shop. I will link it obviously down below if you're interested. And then, as I said, I've got sheets and sheets of these size doilies, all different colors of the rainbow. So whenever you're stuck with a doily, you don't have the right color palette, just go, you can get some of my doilies if you feel you're interested in. So this is my bucket of doilies. Obviously, yeah, that's loads of it. So let's start. So my first thing I do with doilies is I use it as a background. So in my Bible journaling, this is a typical page I've done. I used the doilies to frame my Bible journaling. Love how that turned out. I sometimes use it as sort of accent colors just at the back to peek out to create some interest. And this is probably one of my go-to ways of doing it. I just put two doilies on top of each other, especially if round in different colors, just to create a framework to put something on top. So this is mostly how I use it in my Bible journaling. Then in scrapbooking, I will use it often on a cover of my scrapbook page. This is actually not scrapbook, that is also Bible journaling, but this could have been easier scrapbook page. So then I use, and this one I've used a doily almost at each backing. I love to put a doily in with a ephemera piece there. Otherwise, if that was a scrapbook paper, I could have just put a photo on there. That's how I often use it also, and as a background. Yet again, I use this doily as an accent point to decorate it. This is my last year grade 4 collection which I've designed. And then what I've done is also I have used this format to document what I'm grateful for. And then often, as I said, I use it as an accent point. I sort of even cut it off, put a ephemera piece on there. Let's see some more. So this is a really go-to thing for me here. I put a photo, it's just frame the photo. Whenever I feel like there's a blank space and I don't want to put a whole piece of paper on there, I just put a doily. Here I've used a whole doily with a photo. Here I've used a whole doily with a flower. That is also one of my go-to things. I love to use the doily and pop a flower in the middle. You get the idea. The next thing is I use it as a decorative piece on an envelope. I haven't done this very often, but I'll give you an idea how to use it. Like for instance, if you have an envelope like this, you can just cut some of the doily off. If it's a bigger doily, it will make a bigger accent piece. But it's maybe better just to do it like that. You can decorate it like this. You can even just fold it over like that, and it can be a decorative piece. I mean, the world is your oyster. You can do whatever you want. You can even decorate it like this. Cut it off there and let it come through there. You can, as I said, when you put it over there, that is quite a nice accent. And you can do it like this. So obviously you can use a bigger doily. This is just the idea. Then I think lots of us know this one, but it's also just a good reminder. You can use it on a tag. And it's maybe Christmas. You can fold it over like that or just cut it off. But if you want both sides to be decorated, you can do that. You can even, oh, there's already one. Like you can cut it off like this. That would look nice, and cut it off. You can do it on there. Just obviously cut it straight. That is a way to do it. So obviously you can, as I said, you can do whatever you want. You can even do it at the top also. Yeah. So this one is something I've seen also on Pinterest. It's something I've never done before, but I thought it looks very cute. I've made already one. Take a music seat. What you can do is maybe make it a smaller. Yeah, that's actually quite a good idea. You can even turn it into an envelope, or you can just cut it smaller. Use it as a tag for a present, or Christmas decoration on a present, or yeah, anything. You can make it as a pocket. This is also a nice idea as an envelope. So that was just something I saw, and that looks so cute to me. That's just love the idea of vintage paper with white doilies and twine. That's such a nice combination to me. Then obviously you can use it as part of a signature in a junk journal. So this is my junk journal for my faith journal. I've got a prompt list which I follow. This is also part of a printable I have. So I've used some doilies in here as part of a signature. See, this is a decorative piece. You can obviously journal on there. In this junk journal, I have it more as a decorative piece than part of a page. So here I have it as a decorative page in here, so it gives me a jumping off point, and also here. But if that was a more sturdier doily, maybe a print out doily, then you could have used it as a normal part of your signature also. And now while we're still at the junk journal, you can obviously use it as a tuck spot. And a classic example I've done here is I have used my vintage doilies, and I just cut it in half. And I have used it as a tuck spot. I mean, when the doily is like this more oval size, you can use it as a tag also. I mean, there's nothing, if you've got a more sturdier doily, some of my printables, and you just print it on normal cardstock, you can put a hole punch in there. It can be a journaling card. Like for instance, this is my doily. So if you just put the hole punch in there, then you can do journaling on there at the back. So this is another way. I mean, there is so many ways you can use it in a junk journal. Yeah, you can use it, as I said, let's see where. Yeah, I've used it as a decorative touch. Yeah, actually is a good example of how I used it on a tag. You can use it as a double tuck spot also. And what I mean by this is, let's just use this junk journal as an example. Let's just get a normal page, maybe an open page there. I think it works well if you've got a... So what you can do is you fold it like this, so it doesn't overlap, and fold it back on itself. Then you find a page, like for instance there. This will work well with a more sturdier doily. You tuck it, and then you've got two tuck spots. One thing can be tucked in there, and the other thing can be tucked in there. Got printed doilies. you can take a little tuck spot there, glue it on top of each other like this. Obviously cut the excess off, and you've got also 2 tuck spots. That is a clever idea also, how to use a doily with more printable doilies, unless you can maybe take a normal doily and stick it on a piece of cardstock and print it out. Then that might also work. Then you can use a doily as a tag topper also. So for instance, if you want to use this and you want to make it sort of Christmassy, you can maybe fold it over like this and maybe put it there at the top, or put it like this. This is a nice tag topper. You can make it obviously a bit smaller also if you want. That's maybe a better way of doing it. That's a perfect way of having a little tag topper. You can even make a tabbies on the side of your junk journal. You can do that also, maybe with a little bit more sturdier one, but this should be also fine. These I use doilies quite a lot in faithdex cards or memorydex cards. Now obviously the most reason I use it, it's nice and small, especially my printables I think fit perfectly on there, or sometimes these small little doilies also. So I like to use it as backing. So this example, yeah, I've used it as a backing on an envelope. There's or behind that, and here I've used a doily as a tuck spot also. So that's a perfect way of doing it also, a little tuck spot there. Another way I used the doily. Also another way I love how the contrast is. If I just had to put this thing down on the paper, it would have totally got lost in it. Just to put that doily in it makes it soft and feminine, just makes it pop out. It's so much better than just putting a square piece of paper down there. I don't think it would have had the same effect. The moment you put a doily down, it just brings softness to it. You can use a doily as a ephemera holder. What I mean by this is, for instance, if you've got one of these bigger doilies, you can fold it like this. Hole punch something in there. Let's quickly hole punch it. Then you can put a ribbon through there. This is also something I've seen on I've watched so many YouTube channels that I can't remember which one I've seen. But if you Google also ideas for doilies, loads of things will come up. Or I can't even remember. I've seen it, or I've seen it in Pinterest. So now you have a ephemera holder, or you can pop a journaling card in there. It can be a place where you can do some journaling in. So you can tuck it in your junk journal somewhere, in a pocket. This is there, in a tuck spot, something like that. That's also just a fun way of using your ephemera pieces. If you've got, then I use doilies quite a lot in my sermon notes. And how I often use it is I use it, like for instance, like here, I will put a doily that side, a half-cut doily. I use often half-cut doilies on the one side, and then I will put it at the bottom on the other side. Same, I will cut up a little bit off and just put it there at the top. That to me, there was just a little blank spot, so I just thought it would be perfect to put a doily there, and then the little small little off-cut I use there. Same here, doily that side and the doily that side, just to bring it across the 2 pages. This is also a nice idea, just example rather, just up there and there. Love how that is really one of my go-to things. If I have a blank page and I actually don't know what to do, I just put doilies on either sides. Same here. Yeah, gone a little bit more wild. Here, bigger one. Here, bigger one. Small, small. But here I've done, because that was just empty white for me, and it worked actually perfectly. Love how this page turned out. So it's perfect for things like sermon notes or even scrapbooking. If you had to have a scrapbooking layout here, photos, 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 and then these doilies, it brings a softness, and then put a ephemera piece on top of it. This works every time perfectly for me. Now this one I've never used before, but I thought it would be very good to use with offcuts. If you've got loads of offcuts, there's these little pieces. So what you can do is, if you've got maybe a Bible journaling entry or scrapbooking or whatever you want to do. So for instance, if you've got a Bible, I'm not going to use this Bible now because I want to use washi tape. Let's pretend this is our Bible page. And then you can put a strip of washi maybe on the one side of your Bible page. This. And then you can put your doilies like that. It's almost like a sideways bunting. And that will be a beautiful jump up point to do your, maybe make notes, put number 1, 2, and 3 there and make your notes. Or if you do scrapbooking even, put your photos there. You can even turn it like this and make a little bunting if you cut it a little bit smaller. So that is also a way of using doilies, and I like this idea, and I think I'm definitely going to use it one other time in my Bible. As I said, some of these ideas I use on a regular basis. Some of these ideas I've just picked up now, and I thought it was a great idea for you to be able to use. Then you can use a doily to wrap, to make almost like a wrap around for a paper bouquet. So I've done it various times. My most recent one is in my junk journal July, which I've done here. I've just done a doily and made it folded. So basically I've just taken a hard doily and I fold it like this, turn it around, maybe put it together a little bit more, and then obviously I've made this a little bit shorter. You can fold it up like this, and then you turn it around, and then you put your flowers in there. So some of the flowers will obviously come over there, so you won't be able to see that. But I've got a beautiful illustration, also my Bible, how I've done it. Here is an illustration which I use also a doily, folded up like that, and I just popped in all these flowers. Could have actually made it more dimensional, putting it on foam tabs just to get some more dimension, but obviously this is in my Bible, so I probably didn't want it to do that. So that's also another way of doing, folding a doily, and then you can put a bouquet in there. Then you can use a doily as a frame. So what you can do is, if you do scrapbooking and you want to pop a photo in there, you can cut it by maybe just put a cross through there, and it's easier to get access to it. You've got a photo frame, so if you've got a little photo, you can put it around there. This is my little son when he was probably, I don't know, 2 years old. Isn't he adorable? Don't you wish sometimes you can just keep the times, freeze the time, so they can forever be so small? He's adorable. He is now a big, chunky 15-year-old teenage boy, nearly 16 years old, but he is absolutely adorable in this photo. So I think that would look so cute if you use that as scrapbooking. So you can use a doily as an envelope also. So I've just used one of these doilies in my vintage collection. So an envelope basically works like this. So I'm going to fold it over like this. And then I'm going to fold it over like that. And then I can just maybe cut the axis off. If you don't want to take the axis off, you don't have to take it off. And then you just glue it on the sides there. And you have an envelope. Something like that is obviously an interesting type of envelope. If you have one of these rectangular type of doilies, this is the one of my vintage collection. You can just fold it over like this. And obviously leave a little space there and just fold it over. And then you can have an envelope. You can put a hole punch in there, wrap something around it. Yeah, I love this, how this turned out. It's a very nice ephemera piece to put in a junk journal or just put any gift card or anything in there. Yeah, looks very pretty. So I think we've gone through all of them. Obviously, there is loads more to be added. If you know of something I've definitely missed out, pop it down in the description box. Let me know if you are tending to use doilies, if that is something you like to use or you never consider it, if you're not inspired to use it. As I said, if you're in need of doilies, you can always go to my Etsy shop and pick up some doilies. I've got the vintage doilies, as I said, and also just the round little small doilies in all the colors you can imagine. So yeah, I hope that inspired you. As I said, it's definitely not a comprehensive doily usage video, but it's just something how I use it, how I get inspired by doilies, and I hope it's an inspiration to you. Thanks very much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you like this video, please give it a like, and if you haven't subscribed, please do so. And I will be talking to you, God willing, on Friday. Bye-bye.